Alright guys, welcome to day 28, and today we're going to be talking about the lost art of thinking. Many people in this generation do not think. There has been a gradual decline in the depth of knowledge, the depth of reasoning amongst people in this generation, and it is not a small problem, right? It's a very big problem. It is a foundational problem for most of the issues we see in this generation, and I'll prove that today, right? So a generation that doesn't think will be easy to influence, easy to control, and easy to be distracted. Human beings are meant to think, to process, to question, to reflect. And it's very funny how we've gotten to a point where we have to address things as natural as thinking, right? It just shows a very large decadence in the nature of human beings today, right? So many people today cannot sit in silence. Many people today cannot sit with their own thoughts over time. Many people today cannot sit and reflect for 30 minutes, an hour, or do deep work for more than an hour, 2 hours. Attention span is destroyed, and I feel like we are not talking about the effects of this a lot. So something as basic and as natural as thinking has become uncomfortable. We need to understand when people think today, what exactly do they think? How do they go about thinking? Because the human being, you think, right? Consciously or unconsciously, your brain is at work. So what differentiates it? The thing is that the things that we think on today are surface level things. They're probably opinions, shallow opinions. People are, they feel more than they think nowadays. So their emotions is more active than their brain, right? And then petty comparisons, thinking about trends and all sorts of things, right? So you see that the reason why there's no depth is even because of the type of things we think about, right? If you ask an average Gen Z what is on their mind at the moment, like Mark Zuckerberg will ask on Facebook, right? Most likely be trends, most likely maybe something going on in their school, or just something very short. So there are two main reasons why people no longer think with depth, right? The first one is there's just too much consumption. There's little space and time to reflect or think when you're just passing through videos and videos and videos and videos and videos and videos and videos again and again and again, and you're just in this loop. A mind that is constantly fed, really takes time to digest, so it just keeps on eating, and then at the end of the day, the second one is too much distraction. You see, when you are distracted, right, you are pulled into different directions. There's no focus, there's no goal, there's no vision. You're just distracted, right? And it even matters what you are distracted by, right? It even matters what you're some people have productive distraction, whose distractions they're just distraction, right? And so when you are just all over the place, you can't be anywhere, right? And so depth is almost impossible. So a final reason, right, or part of my proposals of why people do not think anymore is external influence, right? Especially here in Africa, due to our grooming for respect, right, we end up being in the space where we can't question things, right? We just function as robots, right? Just function as robots. And one of the limitations of robots is that they can't think for themselves 100%, right? So someone programs them and they use the information that has been given to them to then do other things, right? But most of them can't think for themselves 100%, and that's just how some humans now. We don't question things, right? Not as rebellion or not in a disrespectful matter, but just because you're curious. Our curiosity has been shattered, alright, due to culture and all of that have been shattered, and some people would rather just want to survive through and just be robotic in nature than actually be human beings, right? So you being obedient and submissive should not cancel away your curiosity and depth. If you see the people that have done or created or invented things, right? And also, mind you, that's the reason why there's not a lot of inventions, scientific laws, and all those things that you were taught in secondary school. You read about all those people, the drugs, the laws, the inventions, all of that. It's not as common now then compared to before, because now there's no even space for that, right? These people, they instead of giving us something that will edify our creative and thinking capacity, they give us things that will destroy it, right? So, like I said, it's up to you. You have to be a steward of your life, right? So even all of these reasons exist, valid reasons exist. You can say, no, I will not be lost in consumption. I will not be distracted. And I will not suppress my curiosity regardless of the external influence, right? Because if you want to do something great, want to invent something, want to change something, well, you have to engage your curiosity. You need to learn how to question things and question wisely, so that you can actually come up with answers that are important, right? And so one of the things that also make people not to think or to think poorly is because of outsourced thinking. Like, so it's just like the robot example I gave, right? So you're constantly fed, even in school, right? You have a question, instead of trying to think it out, just put it in AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, and the rest, and to give you an answer, and all of those kind of things. So those things are tools that are meant to help and not meant to replace your thinking capacity. If anything, they are meant to complement it, right? They are meant to complement it. So when you have outsourced thinking, when you're not in a situation where you are mandated to think on your own, when the answers are all over the place, right? All you just need to do is just to get them, consume, feed, and the rest, right? So there's almost no need for you to sit down and then put one or two together, because there are things that can do that already. If you must live intentionally, you need to learn how to think intentionally. You can't separate it. It's human nature. You need to have time where you sit down, you think. You're not thinking about a trend or what you want to get, what you want to buy. You're reflecting, right? You're thinking about a solution to something. You're thinking about how to make yourself better. You're thinking about how to make the systems around you better. You're thinking about something that is constructive, something that is contributive, or something that is able to make impacts wherever you are, right? Not just thinking. Now, how to think again. The first one is create space, right? And space, I don't mean like physical location space. I mean like create a time where there's no constant input, right? There's no music, there's no scrolling, there's no constant consumption of something, right? It's just you and your thoughts. Stay with it. Thinking needs space. It needs to breathe. Like, your brain needs to breathe. It needs to think, alright? It needs that space. It does not need consumption. It wants to create something. It wants to give an output. Now, ask better questions, right? You need to learn to be curious about things. Don't just take things as they are. They tell you this thing is this thing because of why, right? Why is it like this? How does it work? Where did this come from? Why not this way? Ask good questions. That will lead you to think, right? The people that discover new things, create new things, invent new things, do astounding things in their field, they do it by asking, right? Because why else would they want to create a better model of a car if a present model exists, right? Because they're asking, what can this car do better? What needs are out there that this car has not been able to meet, and how can we make it to meet those needs, right? They ask questions. See, ideas do not come from nowhere, right? Many times they come from questioning, right? You think by asking questions. And thirdly, learn to write your thoughts down, right? Learn to write, whether you're penning it down on paper, you're writing it, learn to write. It makes your thoughts clearer, right? It sharpens your focus also, right? Take out time, write it, and you notice that as you're writing down, right, it's the clarity becomes better, right? And you're easy to put one or two together and make sense of it. And especially when your thoughts are just scattered all over the place, just write everything down and see how you can make connections. Choose depth over noise. You cannot be pursuing everything, right? Not everything deserves your attention, and you should just understand it. Not everything deserves your attention. You don't need to respond to everything. You don't need to talk on everything. Focus on the things that matter to you and build depth there, right? So, I hope you've been able to learn about the lost art of thinking. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow.